everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bridget and today I'm going to show you how I built this 3-piece patio set from scratch. Here is what your cut list is going to look like for one of the chairs. I'll have the full materials list below in the caption, but each chair is only $30 in lumber and the couch is just under $90. In 2024 at least, so if you're watching this in a few years, I'm sorry. Now keep in mind your dimensions are going to entirely depend on the size of your cushions. I'm using cushions that are 24 by 24 inches for the seat and 24 by 19 for the back. Each piece of this patio set comes together in 3 easy parts. Number 1, the seat, number 2, the back, and number 3, the arms or the legs. I'm drilling a ton of pocket holes to prep all my pieces, and then I'll assemble the seat first. The seat comes together in a super easy frame like this. I'm using wood glue on all the seams, corner clamps, and 2.5-inch pocket screws to attach it all together. Now that the frame is built out, I'm just going to add some 2x4 slats to support the cushion. Okay, and I'm quickly just attaching a piece of scrap wood in the back corner of the seat here. I should have just placed one of the 2x4 slats farther back, so definitely do that instead. But this will basically support the back piece when we attach it. You'll see what I mean later. Next up is the back piece. I knew when I was designing this set that I wanted the backs to recline a bit so it's actually comfortable to sit in. So you'll notice that the side pieces are cut at a 15-degree angle to create that recline. Aside from that, this piece comes together pretty much exactly like the seat. You just create the outer frame, then add the slats. Because the back doesn't need to support nearly as much weight as the seat, I'm just using 1x4s instead of 2x4s for the slats here. The third and final part is the arms/legs, which will look kind of just like a horseshoe shape. Now, I'll need you to do what I say and not what I do here. Please use a dowel jig. I didn't have one and I was way too impatient to wait like 5 days for one to ship out to me here in Puerto Rico, so I made do with what I had, but I'll definitely be using a jig next time. It's just way more accurate. Essentially though, I'm using dowels to join these pieces together because it'll create a nice strong joint and pocket holes would be way too obvious no matter where I place them. Now is the best time to give everything a sand. I did multiple rounds working my way up to 220 grit. Okay, now to attach all 3 components together. First, we're going to attach the arms/legs to the seat. So I'm marking 8.5 inches up, which is where I want the bottom of the seat to line up. I added some wood glue, lined up the seat, and then pre-drilled and secured with 1 construction screw on each corner. I did the same with the other side, and now it's time to add the back. I line up the 2x4 on the bottom to be flush with the back of the chair, and now you can see why I added that extra scrap wood in the back of the seat. This way I can just screw straight through that to secure the back piece in place. Just to be sure this back isn't going anywhere, I also secured it to the arms with 2 screws on each side. It's looking so good, and I actually already did the first chair. I did tweak the design after it though, which is why they look slightly different, but you won't be able to tell with the cushions on. Now let's get to the couch. You're gonna wanna measure your space to see how many people you want this couch to sit. I decided to do a 4-seater couch, which with the 24-inch cushions I'm using means an overall length of 99 inches. So do the math for yours. Here's what the cut list looks like for mine. Just remember you can easily tweak this to a 3 or even a 2-seater. This is gonna go together just like the chairs. There are 3 parts, the seat, the back, and the arms/legs, and we're gonna assemble the seat first. I assembled the outer frame, and while you could totally use pocket holes on the slats here, just like on the chairs, there are 15 slats, and that is a lot of pocket holes and screws. So I'm assembling it more like a bed frame, where you add braces along the sides for support, and then you just lay out all your slats on top. I brad nailed all the slats down. You can just use small nails or screws if you don't have a nail gun, and I checked to make sure it was plenty strong. Since this couch is so long, I'm also just adding a couple extra support legs in the middle. Now to make the back, we're using the same 15-degree angled pieces for the sides and assembling the outer frame. Next, I started adding the slats, and you'll notice I used 1x4s on the chair, but here I'm using 2x4s. Just because, again, this piece is so long, I want to make sure it's properly supported. And I'm not installing the bottom slat yet, you'll see why in a sec. I attached the arms the exact same way as I did with the chairs, this time with 3 screws on each corner. Next, I added the back piece, and just like last time, I'm screwing straight through the bottom, this time through the vertical slats. I'm also attaching it to the arms like last time, and this is why I waited to install that last slat. These 2x4s are just more chunky than the 1x4s on the chair, so it would make it hard to maneuver here if they were both already installed. I tipped it right side up, got that last slat installed, and moved on to the fun part, finishing. I'm using Real Milk Paint's Dark Tongue Oil for some color and Outdoor Defense Oil to build up that resistant top coat. The dark oil goes on super easily and pretty much just like a stain, and it gives a super nice warm finish to this set. Here's a tip, if you've ever stained wood, you know that the end grain absorbs a ton more and usually gets way darker than the rest of the wood. To solve that, you just need the grain to absorb something else first. So in this case, I'm dousing it in some of the Outdoor Defense Oil, which is not dark, or you can also just use pre-stain conditioner. I love these Real Milk Paint products because they're completely natural and non-toxic, they're great quality, and they're a family-owned, made in the US small business, so if that's your thing, go check them out. And by the way, code BuildingBridget10 gets you 10% off your order. I finished up with a couple coats of the Outdoor Defense Oil on all the pieces. I actually used this recently on my garden bed that I made too. You can check out the video here. And the finish has held up super well. This is the most foolproof finish. You can just brush it on. You don't really even have to wipe it off. It's impossible to get it streaky. And it has such a nice natural citrusy smell, which is a bonus. And luckily I finished up here soon because it started pouring on me. Puerto Rico rainstorms are no joke. Finally, I added all my cushions in. This is actually the expensive part. Nobody warned me how expensive outdoor cushions would be. It's crazy. I got these on Amazon and they are cheaper than the IKEA ones though, and pretty nice. So check my description for the link. And this is how it turned out. I love how these came together. It totally upgraded my patio and it's really not too hard of a project and super customizable. You can find the full materials list and all the supplies and tools I used in the description. Thank you so much for watching. If you